you know.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
We'll just see what works. I also, like, I mean, I did just come fresh off the arcade pit, so, no guarantees, y'all. Anyway, this is The Prisoner, and welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy Record Keeper. With me, as always, is Sly9.
Hello.
Today we've got the Final Fantasy 9...
Try again.
9-1.
There we go.
Event.
Yeah.
Bonus battles added, yeah. And then, you know, it happens.
So yeah, this event is styled specifically for the disciplinary committee members, specifically
Yep, disciplinary committee,
aka Cypher, Fujin, and Raijin. Recurring bosses.
Oh right, I almost forgot what needs to happen. So that I don't drive everyone nuts with all my clicking. There we go. Alright, there's also something that we didn't actually get around to doing last time that I want to go ahead and polish off, which is a Torment Dungeon. Because we never actually did that one.
Oh, the FF8 Torment one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the deal here is we got a banner specifically for the Final Fantasy VII Torment Dungeon because it's just like, well, there are no FF7 events rolling around and people need a little pick-me-up, so there you go. Have yourself a lucky draw.
Yep.
And that one ended up getting me Cloud's OSB. Wouldn't you know it, this guy's weak to win. Well, shit.
Oh, right, yeah. Kinataka is weak to win. That, I should give that a run, because with Elfinod, I probably could just put, like, Elfinod and, like, a Grand Cross on, Roaming Warrior. I could probably take that out.
I'm feeling that strategy.
Yeah, I've mentioned it before with the FF7 Torment boss, is extremely weak to runic effects, as almost every damage-dealing attack it has is black magic, so...
Yeah, specifically it has fire, it also has lots of gravity, which is why we're all kitted out in gravity-resist stuff.
Yep, gravity, comet, I think, as well, like things like that. Some pretty hefty magic. It also means because it's all magic and gravity, you can style your mitigation a lot simpler. Like, you might want physical mitigation in some manner for the fourth. If you're fighting, you can't just use an X potion on it, no.
Why can't you bring Aerospectre? Let's go. So I've got Zidane, I've got Cloud. They both have wind OSBs, so we basically just life siphon the hell out of them during the Torment Grunt phase, and then explode. And in order to facilitate that, I need a Lunef BSB.
Ah, for the inwind.
Yes.
Also, it'll probably have a pretty good delay entry.
Delay and also a buff.
Yeah. The multiple tricks going on there. Luneth's BSB has a end wind effect that ups your wind damage. This is a common sort of thing on like Cloud has one of these as well, and like Clim Hazard. I think Zidane has one as well. You know, like things like that.
Zidane does. He has his jacket.
Okay, which heavily ups wind damage. But also being in a burst mode also ups damage by, I think, 20%. So, like, pulling a BSB that and gives them haste, and, like, there's a lot of, like, good combos there. Thank you, Abyss Hunted.
Oh, yeah, that's real nice of you, Abyss Hunted. Thank you. Okay, so, Gene Attack's Soulfire things, one of the conditions is to silence them.
Oh,
and it's
fuck.
Yeah, like you generally don't have a lot of time to do that sort of thing because you're busy setting up, trying not to die.
Right, where the heck do you put that? Where are you fitting that in?
I put that on Ishtola.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Let me check a thing while I have this open. How long is the torment? 20-second. Okay, so the torment dungeons are around for another like 3 days.
Yeah.
Just had to check.
So probably a good idea for me to just knock these off immediately. So this right here, that stone skin may actually come back to bite me.
Just too early?
Because one of Gene Attack's other nasty little tricks is that he has Deep Barrier. That's kind of shitty. And he is scripted to do this at, like, exactly 2 points in the fight. So, generally what you want to do with your wall user is to build up 3 charges going in there. And I'm not entirely spec to do that because Ishtola had to bring Silence with her.
Ah, okay. So it's going to be a bit of a
slog. I'll probably have 1 wall by the time I get over there. But hopefully what happens is that I just, like, kill him way too fast. Skip a lot of his phases. Because, you know, like, a lot of his stuff also, remember, is gravity-based. So, therefore, things that won't outright kill you.
Right.
So he does have Meteor.
Yeah. Yeah, FF7 actually in, like, the Northern Cave had a lot of, like... That was where Tonberry showed up as well. Like, a lot of the, like, Final Fantasy recurring enemies showed up at that point in the game.
Anyway, Feng is also here both for Imperil Wind and also for crowd control.
Yeah, one of the biggest issues with the Torment dungeons is trying to figure out how you're going to deal with and like these first 4 waves without sacrificing too much damage on the upcoming, like on the final stuff. So for some of them, for like I want to say. The FF5 one, you can basically just set up Gilgamesh with a Retaliate and walk on through. But that's not always true of them.
It really just depends, you know?
Yeah.
But in a lot of cases, yes, you absolutely do want to bring some form of area, some form of crowd control.
Yeah.
On the upside, they do give you plenty of time to build up lots and lots of charges for the boss. The Torment dungeons are ones that are very BSB and OSB friendly, especially in the case of the boss.
Yeah. It's coded as an enemy in an area without random battles.
How about that? So really, there's not much to these first few waves. It's basically like there are 5 waves of really hefty enemies. And again, this would be really rough if you had to start immediately at the boss with nothing.
Right. Again, kind of planning it out is making sure that you can make the best use of the time you have leading up to it.
That's always been my thing with, Fang's BSB, for instance, because it rides very heavily on wind and peril to amp up its damage. So that's why she isn't doing all that much damage by herself, so, yeah.
Oh god. Yeah, the battle square stuff, that stuff is, I always loved the roulette that sometimes would just kick your ass in that place.
I always safe scum the roulette, because if it's gonna cheat, then so am I.
Ochu is apparently coded to appear as a boss, but has no trigger to a... Wow.
How about that?
Whoops.
Did we mention FF7 had some issues in its development?
Well, more specifically, that honestly kind of falls to every Final Fantasy, doesn't it? Like, you know,
It falls to every programming assignment in general.
We were talking
hard.
We were talking about 6 and 5 and 4 yesterday, and how... Yeah, it's difficult.
I did like the other sorts of design decisions, like you have to have a boss right after Eris dies, but at the same time you make it like the easiest thing ever, because according to the director, it would have lessened the impact of the scene if you had to do it over and over again because the boss was kicking your ass.
Easiest thing ever. What? That Genova boss? That Genova boss, if I'm thinking of the same one, isn't that the one that has like the blue light that just wipes your damn party?
No, it's the one where you just basically, like, equip that thing that they give you right before the fight starts, and then it's like, you're invincible.
Oh, right, okay, right. I think I'm thinking of the... Oh, no, okay, the one that I'm thinking of is later. The Genova
one.
Right,
here we go.
The Genova... Oh, well, we're here? We're here.
Time to set up.
I'm thinking of the wrong Genova, then. Because you fight, like, 5 different Genovas in that game. Alright. FF7 was actively developed over a single year. Huh.
They were doing something like that, yeah, like a release it every year. That was their whole shtick for a while. And then the PS2 came along and kicked that idea right in the nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, what was the time period between... Yeah, just 97, 98, 99. Was that seriously it?
Something like that.
The owner of the world's weakest Ultima, I remember that. It had a super over-the-top animation because it's named Ultima, and then you're like, wait, that was
it?
That's what you got? Okay. I mean, I guess. Oh, okay. 97, 99, 2000. So, for 789.
This is also a little awkward because the buff that gives him the attack bonus also reduces resistance.
Ooh, and they're only dealing magic.
Hopefully we can hang on for Penelo to use her burst.
Here's hoping. Luckily, with once you get to wave 5, if you get wiped in that point, you can, like, close the app, reopen it, and you're on wave 5. Yeah, the Ultimate Materia had nothing on it until you leveled it up.
so okay, once we get to particular phases of the fight, we should be able to get them to the point where the flames possess you, and then they start doing gravity damage to you.
Okay.
That's the thing. They actually become a lot less dangerous once that happens because they're not like actively casting party fear.
Right.
And this guy's magic is no joke. So hopefully we'll get him to just waste his turn on a debarrier and then just sort of like unload before we die.
Yeah. So again, like a lot of the previous Torment bosses, health total here is what, a little over 400,000, give or take. It might be slightly less because it has the flames, but it's very high. And this one's a little out of the range of what I've got sitting around for the actual full stats. Let me see if I can find that. Torment 3, Feast of Souls. Here we are.
Okay, good. Made him skip that phase, and he is just like at a sliver of health, so let's quick finish him off.
Excellent. Yeah, 400,757.
I mean, we didn't silence anybody, but I had already mastered that torment, so fuck it.
Yeah. You wanna...
But that is just a general idea of just how, like, in madcap these things get.
Yeah.
You don't have time to be messing around, like, flicking debuffs on somebody. Seriously.
How's the weather forecast looking for the eyes this time? I don't know, your obs is...
Dropping 54 frames, so, like, let's, I'd rather err on the side of caution, I'm sorry.
Okay. Alright. Just asking, because it's extremely hard for me to say anything relevant, without him, so...
That's fine, like,
okay.
You can just make shit up and people won't know. This is also confusing anyway.
Oh, that's not me. But yeah, anyway.
Alright.
We have an FF8 event.
Yes.
The actual big thing we're doing today.
We have... loading.
We have loading.
Alright. So, like we said, this introduces the disciplinary committee, Fujin and Raijin. They're both really good. Raijin needs a little helping hand in order to make himself, like, relevant, because he's basically a combat monk. Fujin, on the other hand, is an extremely powerful magical ninja. She is spec'd entirely for using ninja magic, black magic, and she even has white 4 for whatever reason. It's mega overkill.
I think she has, I think she has, like, support 4 as well, or something. Like, she has...
Yeah, she can wrath.
She has
bananas.
She has a ridiculous skill set. Look, okay, Huzzah Abyss. Here's the thing. I like when I'm doing a stream like this. I want to give like real information on what is actually going on and like talk about the choices being made and the party comp and such like that. That's what I like to do. So. Anyway, this is, these are the champion fights, and as such are going to be very quick.
Yep. Very quick.
Right.
Now, the other thing, too, is that with Fujin's wind attacks and stuff like that, she is also very spec for being, like, a fast attacker.
Yeah.
So, Alphanod's BSB works really well with her.
Yeah, so... Let me double check my list here. That's not my list. That's my list. Over here.
I think we can try the eyes next time.
That's fine. I'll fall back to the pile of spreadsheets I have rather than what's actually going on, because this I can depend on. Anyway, Odin here. Odin's, as with every single Odin, in every single game that Odin appears in so far, that's what I can think of, physical attack and generally under a time limit.
Yeah, like Odin FF8's gimmick specifically is he is entirely physical based, and he has a countdown of 10 turns, after which he will use Zantetsuken, and you did.
Yeah, much like Odin in 3 and 5, and in I think of other. I guess 13 has. I just fought an Odin in 13 that had a time limit, though that's less Odin thing.
A different sort of time limit.
Yeah.
Like in the 13 games, just cast Doom on everyone.
Okay.
Here it is a more traditional countdown timer.
This is what I wanted to look up. Okay, so Fujin's skill set: Black 5, White 4, Support 4, Ninja 5, Sharpshooter 5. Seriously?
Yeah, she is a back row, like, throwing weapons gal.
Yeah. Anyway, her magic setup, though, is incredible. Black 5, White 4, Support, and Support 4, Ninja 5 gives her an incredible flexibility on any element in multiple different schools. Yeah, 8, yes, the dungeon you were in had the timer, not Odin itself. The dungeon you were in also contained a Tonberry. And then another Tonberry.
Oh, another Tonberry.
And then you kept finding these Tonberries. And it's like, wow, this dungeon.
Yeah, you keep finding these Tonberries, and then you find the King Tonberry.
Yeah. There's the big Tonberry. And the big Tonberry walks slowly, menacingly towards you. And oh boy.
The big Tonberry doesn't like you picking on all the other Tonberries. You've been bad.
In 14, it becomes you get the damage race at 10%. Okay. So,
sounds about right.
One thing I want to bring up that I think is really damn cool while we're watching Cypher get owned here. It isn't a condition in this fight, but we just had a dungeon update. All right. And the dungeon update had an FF8 dungeon. And the FF8 dungeon has this fight in Lunatic Pandora against Cypher. And one of the mastery conditions for it is beat Cypher before he uses Zantetsuken Reverse. In his, AI, the only time he will use Zantetsuken Reverse in that fight is if you use Odin.
There you have it.
So,
because that's how it worked in the game too.
Right, which I find goddamn hilarious because that condition is moot. It literally says just don't bring Odin, you moron. I love that. That sort of little detail is the stuff I really enjoy with Record Keeper, where it has these tiny little nods to the things that all occur.
Yeah, they are very, very strict on attention to detail, and that's one of the reasons why the game is so good. If you absolutely adore Final Fantasy, you get to see all of these little things and touches and stuff that you can remember. And it rules. Okay, so the big reason why I picked Renoa and Irving in this fight is because I have two very special soul breaks that I recently got for them. In the Final Fantasy, in the dungeon update Lucky Draw, I got Irving's gun, Exeter.
Cool.
Exeter is a very special gun in that it is the only, for the longest time, it was the only pentabreak in the game. Pentabreak means all normal stats and mod break down. So 5 stat breakdowns.
Now, funnily enough, you can think of this kind of like how there are speedrun tricks. Like, in Super Metroid, there's a trick that gets you across the room, and that got you across half a room in Meridia called the Halfie. And once somebody found a way to do it across the entire room, they called it the full Halfie. There's another game I know that has a trick called the right side glitch and the reverse right side glitch.
Okay.
Which I just... So, the reason I'm bringing these up is because full break, which you would assume would break every stat, is not actually a full... It does not break every stat. It only...
Yeah, there's one stat that it misses, and that's mod.
Yeah. Well, I guess nothing breaks speed, but... Yeah.
Okay, good. I was kind of trying to bide my time so that I could let Renoa show off her OSB, which is a thing that I got from another... I don't know where I got it from. It's probably another dungeon update, but yeah, this is her OSB. It's Earth Elemental.
Nice.
Oddly enough, we are going to be getting a third Keeper's Choice banner, which is basically like an all-star roundup of some of the most popular soul breaks in the game throughout the game's existence. So it's like you got your Sentinel Grimoires, you got your Shout, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And for Keeper's Choice 3, you are allowed to pick one of a suite of soul breaks that give an element. And one of those soul breaks happens to be Renoa's party dress, which gives her an Earth.
Nice. Yeah, Omnicrom.
So hopefully I'll get
the
on
whole
top of
Odin
that.
Gilgamesh thing is one of my favorite parts of 8.
Yeah.
In the Japanese version of the game, the script is slightly changed in the English. There is the flat implication that it is the same Gilgamesh just popping out of the cleft. Like,
I think they do that for, like, practically all of them except a few fringe cases.
right, like 9, where it's a different Gilgamesh.
Well, Gilgamesh was an idiot in 9, but,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, so this boss, I dislike this one. Adele and Renoa. Not anything off of, like, the boss gimmick, because, oddly enough, the boss gimmick doesn't play the gimmick hard enough. The gimmick is much like in the fight against Adele, when Adele has Renoa in FF8. Like, Renoa is a targetable thing that Adele is
right.
like, stealing health from, and you have to keep Renoa alive. But in that game, like, Renoa has something like 8,000, or like a low enough HP threshold that that's a problem. In this, I think Renoa has, like, 6-digit health, it feels like. It's way too high. Renoa's not in any danger in this fight.
And the other thing, too, is that instead of the game being over if you kill her, instead, Adele will go into jerk mode.
Yeah. But the other thing is how this shows off that Record Keeper still has some oddities to work out, in that its auto-targeting is still not great.
Yeah, that is kind of a problem, especially when it's like... Well, auto-targeting generally goes after the person with the least amount of health, both curing and attacking.
Yep.
But sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Also, the hitboxes are a little strange, because as you can see, you got Adele's health bar underneath Renoa's, but given the sprite, it's hard to tell where you should be targeting, so...
Right.
The health bars are really all you've got to work with on
Not
that one.
great is a good euphemism for ass. See, I can't say ass currently because I've played older bosses of this game, and older bosses of this are fucking awful about it. So, like, yeah.
You can't say ass on TV.
I can't. But, because, like, this one, it's very obvious when you're targeting Renoa. in some of the other fights with some really terrible targeting, you're like, it's like Neo X death targeting. You're like, which part am I targeting? Oh, well, there's the top, the middle, and the top and the upper. And it's like, okay.
Well, at least with Neo X Death, you immediately solve like 3 of them, and then there's your targeting issue.
Right. But like, when you're looking at Neo X Death, and like the first time somebody tries to describe to you, well, what part are you hitting? Well, there's the top front part, the front part, the upper part, and the back part. And it's like, well, which is which? Because they're all, basically it should be top, left, right, bottom, right, left, bottom, right, but that's not how anybody talks about them ever. So it's
kind of a hassle,
yeah. Anyway, as you'll notice, Rinoa has taken something like 10,000 points of damage across a bunch of different, like, effects, and is still at, I think, about 7/8 health, maybe a little lower. She will not fall unless you, for some reason, like, target her with a burst and try.
Oh, Magical Energy coalesces in Adele. She's gonna cast Ultima and suck at it big time.
The other thing that the auto-targeting does is with breakdowns. The way breakdowns work on their targeting is they will target a enemy that does not have a breakdown applied on them, starting with the lowest health. So if you just blindly use any breakdown in this fight to try to magic break or like full break Adele, it will always just hit Rinoa first. So I don't know exactly what the full criteria is for like breakdown targeting, but I know like when I did this, I had to redo the fight because I didn't realize that I never hit Adele with my full break. I was like, oh, well, that was annoying.
That was a problem.
But yeah, this fight in FF8 is much more of a, you have to manage keeping Rinoa alive, but you can draw magic from her to keep her alive. You know, you can put regen and such on her. And Adele, you know, like, that fight is a bit of, the gimmick in that fight is a bit more of a hassle than it is here. Here it's not too much of a problem. All your team is just like I like how you actually have a pretty decent FF8 squad going on here.
Yeah, we're just kind of going through the motions. I mean, what also helped is the fact that, like, the FF8 banner is... Okay, so I've said before that we don't really have any, like, big, absolute must-draws until the anniversary comes along. I forgot about this. This is the lone exception. Banner 1 is incredibly good because it has only 2 repeats. Just 2. Everything else is all new stuff. Yeah. So if you don't have Almacy Revolver or Squall's Jacket, you're dupe-proof. And that's a good place to be.
Which... Like, when I pulled on there, I pulled 2 copies of Almacy Revolver, 1 of Cypher's Gloves, and then Raigen's Burst. Did they put the Propagators in this game? Yes. Though the Propagator, they just didn't bother with the gimmick. You just fight the Propagator as a boss. It's not really a big thing. Then again, that was also from an earlier version of the content, so if they did it again, I would bet that they would actually have some sort of gimmick to it.
Yeah, I'd also like to stress that, for the longest time, Irving's Exeteer was the only way that you could get a pentabreak.
Yep.
Which again is all 5 breaks, like 4 breaks plus money. We have recently gotten some other people that can do that. Mustadio comes to mind. His Super Soul Break does that too.
Yeah. They've basically decided to make it gun break. Like, at this point, like, a full break gets to be gotten on, like, you know, entry on a couple things, or like, you know, like, but if you have a gun, you get to do a mind break on top of it. That's just the way it is, alright? I didn't make the rules. That's just how guns work. Alright, Ultima Weapon.
Maybe it's like Fallout, except you hit all the weak spots at once.
Ah.
Alright, so we got Ultima Weapon. Not too much of a hassle.
Yeah.
This is going to be the champion team, but I've got, like, teams set up for each of the ultimates just to spice things up. We actually we haven't gotten to see Cypher's new Super Soul Break, Death by Committee. It's really good.
This is the FF8 Ultima weapon. This is the one that appears in the Deep Sea... yeah, it's in the Deep Sea lab, right?
Yeah, it's the one that's also weak to water.
Yeah, oddly enough.
But yeah, this is Death by Committee. Dark, Lightning, and Wind, so it's a workhorse. It's a workhorse with also a really good buff. 30% attack and magic to everyone.
Yep.
Like, what's really nice about it is that it plays into the Disciplinary Committee, because Raijin and Fujin obviously have Lightning and Wind as their sticks.
Yep.
Cypher has Darkness, so it stacks well with everyone, and it basically allows Cypher to play well with not only Raijin and Fujin, either together or separate, but you can slot him into a variety of different teams, just like as an aggro support buff guy.
One other thing with that, the downside of that is that the effect has a defense lowering, and you'll notice that Cypher is loaded out with a specific move that we call Gaia Cross.
Puts Dark Fire on him, Draw Fire on him, which, despite being a stat modifier, it's a it's a buff, actually.
Yes.
It counts as a buff. 100% defense increase.
Which because the defense lowering from that burst, or from that Super Soul Break, is just defense, you just override.
Well, not necessarily override it. It's more like you get a net 70% buff because they're both there together. Because one thing's a status modifier, the other thing counts as a buff.
Oh, does Gaia...
Final Fantasy Record Keeper is a weird game.
Oh, does Gaia Cross work the same way?
Yeah, because Gaia Cross inflicts Draw Fire on you.
Oh, huh. I always assumed it was just a defensive buff because it called, like, on Gaia Cross, it calls it out. Interesting.
Yeah, there's all these, like, weird ID matching thingies. Like, in a sense, it is nice that this system exists because it, like, protects a lot of buffs and debuffs from being outclassed or outdated, because they can simply stack on top of what comes after. For example, we're getting a lot of Pentabreak stuff. Pharaohs used to be the undisputed god queen of Breaker Country with her Burst Soul Break, because it's really, really good in that territory.
Yeah. Oh, to quick answer a couple questions. Omnicrom asks, does this guy insta-kill people with Light Pillar? Don't let this fight go on for long. Do not let this fight go on for long. He will do just Light Pillar, and Light Pillar will do quad 9s.
Yep.
I don't know what the exact turn count is, but it does mean you have to rush it down. And Word Number asks, how many elements are in this game? Well, we have Wind, Water, Fire, Earth, Ice, Lightning, Holy, Dark. Was that it?
Poison.
Poison. Is that everything?
I think that's everything. Like, Poison is just kind of an odd one because it doesn't get a lot of representation, except for Final Fantasy VIII, because Quistis right now is the only Poison DSP user.
Yeah.
The only Imperil guy is Edgar from Final Fantasy VI.
Poison is an element and a status effect.
It has a 3% chance of inflicting poison, by the way.
Yeah. The only other real poison, like, soul break that's very powerful is OSB. Edgar's Apocalypse Biobreaker. Bioblaster.
Of course, Quistis has a poison OSB now.
True. On the second banner. Yeah, so poison was a great element in FF8. Yeah, almost every human character in FF8 for Record Keeper is weak to poison. And poison is also a very safe element, because a lot of enemies don't recognize poison as an element to resist.
Yeah, poison was originally non-elemental, and then it was it became added as an actual proper element. So a lot of enemies in the past are not spec'd for that.
Dark Bahamut is a good example. from one of the more recent streams we did. Dark Bahamut was, like, I think half resist all elements but poison. So poison is an element that, like, as far as elemental damage goes, it's very... 8 is wonky garbage. Yeah.
Yep. Alright, so Squall here is another Dissidia character. He's very physical based.
Yep.
And he's weak to dark. Oh, fuck it. I just took one look at that and goes, weak to dark. Well, time to get out Sid Reigns.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain every single Dissidia fight just had... Oh, no, not every single. I don't think Bart's had a weakness to dark. It's a very high chance that they have a weakness to dark if it's a Dissidia fight.
Okay, so let's see. What else do I have? I think that's fine.
But, so poison is a very powerful element because of that. Holy and dark also tend to be very powerful elements, though with, like, you know, there are certain enemies that are fully resistant to dark, certain enemies that are fully resistant to holy, but very few.
I see a lot of Sid Reigns in here, but bear with me because I'm just checking to see if anyone pulled Quistis' OSB yet.
Ah, nice.
Because I'd like to show that off, too.
So...
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Because Quistis' OSB is amazing. She summons Doom Train.
Word number, one of the things to kind of know about Record Keeper is that it's a game that's had a very, like, steady evolution over 2 years. I'm pretty confident that if I looked at Record Keeper, like, 6 months after it, like, you know, released initially, I would be stunned at how, like, kind of poor and, like, how, especially compared to now, it looks. Having gone through all of the Realm content, the older realms have a lot of problems.
Oh, we got Man with the Machine Gun and it rules.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Also, yes, Omnicron, Quistis' OSB is literally the Doom Train summon. Down to the letter.
Fucking rules. So Squall here, you've seen Dissidia fights before. This one is actually slightly different in that for most Dissidia fights, they're all physical based. We had that with Bart's, we had that with Titus, we had that with... It's been, generally, they're all physical based. Squall here actually bucks that off and does have a couple... right.
Yeah, that's another thing he can do. He just randomly, like, draw junctions and gains bonuses to attack and stuff.
Yeah. Now, one of the tricks with that is what I was talking about earlier with how you could overwrite a buff or debuff of one type with a buff of debuff of the same type. So, if Squall does the Junction Meteor to buff attack, you know, you can overwrite that with a power breakdown because they're both affecting the same, like, stat line, and only one...
Yeah, also I'm gonna just nip this attack buff of his in the bud right now, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So, as I've said before, Sid Reigns is the bread and butter of dark teams. Because dark magic users have Memento Mori, which boosts their magic by 30% but inflicts doom upon them. They bring that, and then they can just summon Sid Reigns, and Sid Reigns gives him like a shitload of other buffs, and then he toast.
Yeah, Sid Reigns is... I'm still continuously stunned by how powerful Sid Reigns is.
I can't imagine that he won't be in the anniversary banners, I swear to God. Yeah,
I have to assume that BSP will be in there. It's just too good. Squall fight is a joke, IMO. Can't disagree with how I see it going. I don't know what he actually I don't... Actually, I can take a look.
Yeah, he's way too focused on, like, trying to buff himself.
Yeah. Like... Especially with how much
like, by
damage...
the time we finally get set up, then we're just gonna, like, do way the hell too much damage for it to matter.
Well, especially because you have double Sid Reigns going.
Yeah, double Sid Reigns within Dark comes in pocket.
Right. Another cool thing
But we don't even need it, because goddamn.
Another cool thing about Sid Reigns BSB, it has a defense boost on it. Because that...
The cool thing about Sid Reigns BSB is that you spam Command 2 in order to get more magic buffs, and then you spam Command 1 forever, because it is chain cast, which means it instantly goes off.
Right, it's the way I end up playing Elphanod, where you just use Windblade, rather than, like, revving Tiamat over and over again, which is something you can do. You can rev up Tiamat over and over again. Seriously, okay, so one of the big reasons that you're seeing Squall just waste turns here is actually the HP thresholds.
Yeah, because we keep skipping over them, because Sid Reigns is a fucking god.
Yeah, so, like, a lot of the triggers in this game are HP thresholds, usually 41% and 71%, but sometimes different depending on the fights. And enemies will have two ways of dealing with those thresholds. Some have instant counters, like Chaos did in the last one, the instant cast. Rip Squeon, he never attacked.
Here lies Squeon, he never attacked.
Yeah. I think he hit Cypher in the face with 500 damage once.
Hey, if I play this game the way those guys are playing it, I can win, right?
So
the answer is no.
So here's a cool thing. Anytime you run into an ultimate boss or a champion boss that is weak to Dark or Holy, you can pull this same strategy yourself. Just summon Sid Reigns.
It especially works well when you are faced with a Dark weak boss, because, again, Darkness mages get to self-buff themselves, and that shit stacks with everything Sid Reigns has.
I don't think we've ever talked about Rosetta Stones. In Record Keeper, Rosetta Stones are used for augmenting weapons to up their maximum stat value higher than ranking them up would. And when I say max stat, I mean, like, if you put it on an armor, it'll up defense. If you put it on like, whatever the highest stat on the thing is. So, hey, it's Biggs and Wedge.
Yep, it's Biggs and Wedge. Let's kick their ass. I'm wondering. Because, should I... Yes, absolutely. Because, I got Raigen's BSB and also his SSB.
Oh, shit, the one that gives you guts?
Yeah, the one that gives you guts and regen and also,
God,
like,
damn,
a free attack.
I think it's instant cast too, or something like that.
No, it gives you instant cast.
Oh, yeah, sorry, it gives you instant cast. I was like, I knew there was an instant cast in here.
Okay, so here's the thing about Raigen's BSB. Let's go over this for a sec, because there's quite a bit to cover, because it's a very odd and unique one that is capable of doing, like, a fuck ton of damage.
Yeah, like, at its maximum capability, it is actually able to be the most damaging effect in the game. Though...
Yeah, it's like 100... No, it is 30% more damage potency than Thunder God Sid's OSB.
Well, that's after like 10 rounds of charging, though. Whereas in that point,
yes.
Sid has used his Thunder God Sid OSB 4 times.
Thank you for the follow.
Yeah, so the way this works...
Yeah,
the Lurking Tiger command increases like Raigen's explosion potency, and also does a cure.
It does a 40% like single target heal, so you can use him as a pinpoint healer too.
Yeah. And then the Detonate does a number of hits equal to it's 4 hits plus 1 hit for each Detonate like charge you've done, plus the damage is like double, triple, quadruple. Like the damage goes up incredibly as you up it.
Also the number of hits.
Yeah, you get an extra hit every charge you do. So like 2 charges is 6 hits, 3 charges is 7 hits, etc.
Like, the idea I think they were going for when they were balancing this burst is to, like, make it so you don't have to charge up to max every single time you use it. You can get away with, like, quad-nining it with, like, 2 or 3 charges, maybe.
Yeah, so I guess to talk a little bit more about the damage on it, if you just use say you go, the second command you use detonate and then detonate again, you're going to do less damage than if you did charge then detonate. That's how powerful the charges are. The charges are actually worth doing.
Mm-hmm. So. And the thing is, too, it's actually going to get, like, even more whack, because Cloud is going to get something very special. He's going to be debuting what's known as the Ultra Soul Breaks, USBs, a new type of Super Soul Break. Basically a step up from Super Soul Breaks, actually, in terms of utility and damage and stuff. But, yeah, let's just cut to the chase.
Alright.
Cloud's USB will give you the power to break the damage cap on the user. Now plug that into Raijin with his BSB and see what that gets you.
USB 3.0, oh no.
USB 3.0, yeah.
So yeah, it's an interesting one because it's like damage dealing while being healing, which is something that Monk kind of has going on.
And again, like, it's not like you are wasting time. It's not like Raijin is being a lump when you're charging. Pinpoint heals are good, especially if you have an aggro with him. Like Cypher, for instance.
Yes. Alright, so Biggs and Wedge.
Let me see. No. First off, Y'shtola doesn't need this. So you can use Protectka because Raijin has pinpoint heals while in lockdown. Desh is here for the Imperial Lightning, and the Sheer Feather is Fujin's unique Soul Break. It's also the first one that's like Affliction Break over... It's an AoE Affliction Break, basically. And that means it cuts the ability of enemies to inflict status ailments on you by an amount.
To me, it's also a bit odd because that's one of the... I think that's the first new unique Soul Break I've seen. Like,
they're not going to, like... They're trying to phase those out, especially as USBs come into play.
Right. The difference between a unique Soul Break and a Super Soul Break, other than usually a Super Soul Break usually is stronger. This isn't always true because things like Stone Skin 2 are a unique Soul Break. The difference is that when you level up, when you master a Super Soul Break or a Burst Soul Break or a Oversoul Soul Break, you get a stat boost.
Actually, you can get away with this, I think.
Alright.
Because Cypher's going to be bringing his buff to the table, and Raijin can use Meteor Crush, so...
So, cool thing about this... Hope you like being slowed.
Understood. Fujin's unique is only 25% cut in accuracy for status ailments. Okay. Affliction Break is 50%.
Yeah. Also, they don't stack. One overwrites the other. Because, again, same buff. Or debuff in this case.
But, you know, like we said, it's the only option you've got for AoE in that regard.
Also, if you don't have Affliction Break, because it's a 6-star Nightmare ability.
Yep. And it's one from one of the nastier Nightmare bosses, too, so get ready for that.
Which one's that?
It's Necrophobe.
Oh, right.
Do you love barrier puzzles, player? I bet you do.
Alright. So this is the Biggs and Wedge on top of the dish, right? That's where we're at?
Yes.
Which is why, let's start the fight here, we've only got Biggs.
I believe I have a Dispel in here. If I don't, then I'm going to be very sad. Oh crap, no I don't. I don't have a Dispel. Well, back to the drawing board.
Whoops.
I have a team with that. It was just like spur of the moment dumb bullshit, so don't worry about it. That's the other thing about the Biggs and Wedge fight. They cast lots and lots of buffs on each other, and that's yeah, you run away with that really quick.
Sadly,
if you confuse them, they have unique dialogue for hitting each other. That's kind of precious.
Sadly, this fight isn't going to get cut off when Elvaret shows up. We're going to have to fight the whole thing.
Well, I kind of expected that.
Yeah. That'd be kind of hilarious if you fight like halfway through this and then Elvaret shows up and it's just like, look. And then the spider tank shows up and you're like, God damn it. The whole thing in a Dolet.
Diabolos shows up out of the lamp for some reason. Okay, this is the... Yes. This is actually the one that I was thinking of. Because you can get debuffs flicked on you, which is why I have Ultra Cure in the pocket. But that won't help against Slow.
No, it does not. Because for some reason, Slow does not get cured by Asuna. It's a bit of a strange one. I think because it's a stat down rather than a because it's treated more like a breakdown rather than a status debuff.
It's dumb as hell is what it is.
It is a bit dumb. Ultra Cure, and like I would assume that the ability that cures all status effects would cure all status effects, but it doesn't.
At least I do have a hard counter in the form of BSBs.
True.
Oh, that's also why I bring Shout. Huh. I've been relying on Shout much less and less, actually. The advent of... I just have a shitload of BSBs now, but also because I've been trying to use the self-buff stuff a lot more often.
Ah. For me, I haven't used Shout in a long time, specifically because I got Minfilia's SSB that has the same attack boost as Shout.
Yeah, Minfilia's literally Ramsey 2.0 right down to the Shout.
Right, you just get Guts instead of Haste, which means I just have to get Haste from a different source, usually Onion. I like the Onion.
That's a lot of buffs you have there.
Be a shame if somebody had like a blade for that. That was a really good dodge.
Yeah, that was a good shout.
Yeah. Well, like even the slow only affected one person there.
It also has to do, high mind and all that crap.
Right.
Like, Irving is at a slight disadvantage, so I just kitted him out entirely in, like, breaker gear for that reason. Because he's level 59, and, pretty tough to,
Oh boy.
level up a shitload of people really quick before the next event happens.
That's fair.
I did kind of have to level up the entire disciplinary committee lickety split.
I am just only using Raijin out of that, and doing eggs plus Sunday has been decent for them. Like, I think I'm at 67 on Raijin now, so... Hey, Reg.
How you doing? So... I don't know. Like... How do you get away with your soldiers just not getting paid ever for the slightest infraction? How has there not been a mutiny in Galbadia yet?
I think that's why you got hired for an assassination. By a Galbadian general. Or at least, not. I don't think you were actually hired by the Galbadian in general. You were...
Oh, because they weren't getting paid. That's exactly why, I see.
Yeah.
No, Caraway definitely was doing it.
Was Caraway specifically the one that hired you? I know he was in on it and was, like, helping you, but I don't know if he was the one who hired the hit.
I believe it was specifically, like, Caraway that was doing it.
Okay, I'll be, again, a number of my, like, very specific knowledge about 8 is loose because I haven't actually played 8 in years. The last time I played 8 was, like, over a weekend when I just decided I wanted to do a low-level run and never level Squall up, which is actually the easiest game in the world. Somehow. Because of how 8 works. The way 8 works is that it has, like, the Oblivion style... I guess I bring up, enemies scale to you. So if you're...
The thing about Final Fantasy VIII is that absolutely everything that it does is broken. As hell.
Yeah.
And the fun that you derive from the game is basically seeing how you can break everything over your knee.
I'm playing Triple Triad.
And play Triple Triad. That one's fun. You can also do that on your mobile phone, as it turns out.
I mentioned it before, but one of the card shops I went to one time had a set of Triple Triad cards there.
Because Triple Triad is literally a game you can play in real life.
What Final Fantasy isn't broken, to be honest? 9? 9?
9 is pure. 9 is too good to be broken.
Honestly, like, from 9 forward, you don't have broken in a... I can overcome every challenge with absolutely no thought, not no thought, because you put a lot of prep into it. There's no one solution to everything. Whereas, like, in 8 and backwards, like, there are certain strategies that just can beat anything. I mean,
Yeah, so, like, in 8, just to give you an idea, you get stuff by junctioning spells to your gear, and you basically never cast magic ever as a result.
Yeah, it's really weird.
You get 5 tenths at the start of the game, which they get you started at, you know. Tenths can be junctioned into 20 Kiragas.
Hope you're having 3,000 health. And becoming literally immune to damage for the first disc and a half.
It's so fucking stupid.
Remember how they haven't been able to use TV for years because of Adele? Yeah.
Oh, have I fucked up?
Yeah, there's a mechanic to this fight that I decided to not mention until we saw it, where the one who is left alone is going to kick your fucking ass.
Oh. Is that all?
Yeah, unless you just kill him flat with your, like, imperiled holy. But yeah, like, all the TVs have, like, free me, let me out of this prison, you morons.
Bring me back, I am alive out here.
Yeah. It's like, wow, this channel sucks. Like, anything good on Channel 4? That to be out. Nope, nothing on here either. Yeah, a bunch of piercing AoEs. Well, if you can keep Beatrix standing, that should be alright. By the way, he has one move. Just, I don't know. That's his one move. That's all he's got. Ultimate short fuse, 2,000 to the party. Ultimate short fuse, 2,000 to the party. look, that's all we have here.
I wonder if I don't have to care. Because it looks like I don't have to care. Oh man, if I get mastery on this still, that is going to be a laugh and a
Oh my
half.
god.
So the solution to the fight is to not care.
Oh my goodness. So, it's kind of funny.
Feeling like a freak on a leash.
It's funny because the setup, usually with a boss with multiple parts, is you want to take them out one by one, because usually they flip out at half health. And you don't want to have 3 people in flip out mode because they'll murder your ass. But Biggs and Wedge are...
case in point.
Yeah, case in point. This one follows that rule, by the way. You don't want all 3 in flip out mode.
That's perfectly fine. I will adjust accordingly. But anyway, so Cypher is physical and magical. Raijin is physical and Fujin is magical. So, yeah, it's literally the disciplinary committee, and you know what beats the disciplinary committee, right?
Time to go find Quistis's BSB or OS.
The disciplinary committee, that's correct.
Oh boy.
So yeah, we got lots of focus downs here. Basically, just like everyone just sort of gangs up on one person, and that's close enough for area of effect, right?
Excellent.
As long as you just keep your eye on everyone's health and just sort of keep it in an even kilter. Of course, Raijin may get done long before everybody else, but I'll, yeah.
Right. You specifically want to kill them one by one in this. Like, again, if you put them all at low health, you're probably just going to get ruined.
Okay, so it's the crystals fight. Gotcha.
Yeah. The specific trick is they double in speed. So.
Oh. Ain't that something?
Yeah.
So you'll notice that Fujin has a very specific skill we haven't seen yet. This is the 6-star ninja skill.
Oh shit!
Stitch in Time. Stitch in Time is meant to address the ninja's problem with having like a really lackluster magic score and within magic and stuff. It was usually dumb and stupid, except in the case of Fujin, who already has extremely high magic, so it works perfectly for her.
Oh, goodness. Stitch in Time. You flip a coin, and if you get the call right, you take an extra turn after this one. That's how it works.
Stitch in Crime. By the way, everyone's weak to poison. You pulled on Banner 2 yet? You got Quistis' shit?
Yeah. Do you have Edgar's OSB or something of Quistis's? My plan is literally just have Chain Bioga in here, but that's it.
Yeah, I think that'll do it. Because I'm going to go fishing for Quistis BSB real quick. Because, like, Fujin and Raijin, like, everyone can buff themselves. Cypher has a buff too, so I don't really need Shout all that much.
Again, having everybody be kind of self-sufficient with buffs is pretty cool.
Yep. Frees you up to do a whole bunch of other stuff. Of course, if things get impossibly dumb...
Are the pigs actually a struggle in Record Keeper because they fall over easy in 5? The pigs are a torment fight. They suck a lot because they don't die to Odin. I wish they died to Odin. Good lord. Because
it saved us a lot of trouble if they just died to Odin.
In Record Keeper, they were the first torment fight. They're not the hardest. They're actually the only one I have beaten at the moment. Like, I think the FF10 one is currently the hardest one standing. But, they have the same gimmick, though. And the thing is, when you have the gimmick of, I'm going to raise dead my buddies if you don't kill me all at the same time, and their health totals are in the almost 200,000 range. Don't fuck that up. One's weak to fire, one's weak to ice, one's weak to earth.
Come on, people. Seriously, where are the Quistis PSPs?
Well,
this banner has been active for a few hours at least.
Wendigo is a fight that if you just don't have a... Speaking of Odin, does Cypher do anything special if you use it on him? Not in the this here. At least I don't think so. In the FF8 content, but there was an FF8 dungeon update, and in the dungeon update, you fight Lunatic Pandora Cypher, and if you use Odin on Lunatic Pandora Cypher, he immediately will Zantetsuken and reverse you. So yes, they did include that in the game.
They include a lot of little, like for example, in the Ronka Ruins in Final Fantasy V, as you may or may not know. In Final Fantasy V, if you use a golden needle on a stone enemy, then they cast Banish on themselves and die. Well, since we don't have golden needles, they just sort of randomly do that.
Yep.
I may have to change tack for this. The PSP was always dead.
The room I am currently sitting in has 4 PSPs.
The room you're currently sitting in has 4 paperweights.
That's what 2 or 3 of them are being used for, yes. I look over at that shelf up there, and that shelf has a PSP sitting on it, and then I open this drawer. In this drawer there are 2 PSPs. And if I open that box, on top of the box will be a PSP. 2 Vitas, specifically.
Vita, baby.
I enjoyed the PSP when I got it, because I immediately hacked it, and it was using it to play Earthbound. That was what I did with my PSP.
Yeah, okay. I don't think that we're going to find a Quistis PSP.
Yeah.
For whatever dumb reason.
I was very sad because I purchased the PSP for a very specific reason that never happened. And that was because there was a port of Tales of Eternia on the PSP. It just never came out in the US. Alright, so what's backup plan if we can't find this PSP?
I'll have to think of one. In the meantime, we can probably do multiplayer.
Ooh, that's true. Oh god, I have to figure out what I want to do for that fight.
Yeah. Okay, so, pro tip on the multiplayer fight. Bahamut resists literally everything that is possible to pull on both banners. Just as a big fuck you.
Wandering Newbie has given you some codes for people to add to...
Oh, yeah, thank you. God damn. Wonderful. Newbie, that's just how the bricks decided it. I'm sorry. But, whatever. I can do that. First off, I need a... That's kind of the shitty thing, too, is, like, you can't follow more than 100 people for basically reasons that probably extend to, like, legacy bullshit. Whew. But, thank you for the friend code. Good God.
Yeah, so the PSP, I just played Luminous and Earthbound on it, which was good.
I think the real killer was that the music just suddenly stopped.
Oh god.
As if they knew.
Sometimes that happens.
Server space sounds about right. Okay, are we ready? Can I finally end this hell that I'm subjecting y'all to? Assuming this person will even show up. Come on, dude. So Friesian doesn't play nice. That's to be expected.
Yeah, good to know.
She is the magic one.
I stopped trying to 100% games I played a long time ago.
It's not something you want to do, especially since they keep, like, building up content and junk.
Yeah. I remember thinking to myself, you know, I should see what it looks like to 100% Vesperia. And then I just...
Ooh, that's a burn.
And then I just was like, nah, that's bad.
Well, I know what we can do. We get some multiplayer going, that's what we can do. Fuck this.
Is this just not showing up?
Nope, it's not. And I would rather give people something to watch than not. I'll figure something out. But as of right now, I was literally expecting a lot of people to just suddenly throw up the Quistis BSB because, hey, this Ultimate Plus, everyone's weak to poison.
Oh, I never
did.
It's
a no-brainer.
I never even did the FR Soldiers one. Whatever, I'll do those later. Those are simple.
Yep.
Okay,
so
Bellefonte,
we'll do the 160.
Bellefonte, it still has 100% frustration because I know the PS3 version doesn't exist.
Okay, he can cast Stop on the whole party, which I hate that shit.
Oh, good lord.
It's so fucking dumb. It's just basically like, okay, you get to stand around and pick your nose while I kick your ass for 5 seconds. Okay, so this was kitted out for the Garland Final Fantasy I multiplayer fight.
Alright, are you gonna run it or should I?
I think you should run it.
Okay.
But I will be playing with all of my junk right now.
Omnicrom, I am very much enjoying Berseria. I mean, I've been streaming it a lot, so it's really fun. I'm kind of vibrating in my seat because it's so fun. That has a lot less to do with the game and more that my chair is wiggling. But anyway. Yeah, let's just go with this setup because fuck it. Recruit a party. Everyone welcome. Choose raid ID 6969. Just in case anyone else wants to join on the multiplayer zone.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I'll bring buffs.
Sly, you should get a new chair. I got a new chair like a month ago. Because my old chair was literally falling to pieces. This chair is conversely falling to fuck.
I put all sorts of drapes and shit on my chair so that it would not fall apart. Does Bahamut buff himself? Because Minphilia's ready.
Use that sweet Patreon money for new furniture, yeah. Just like you should get a new chair again.
Ooh, buddy.
Alright, so... are you bringing a shell or a protect?
I'm bringing a shell.
Alright, I'll switch to protect.
Because Minphilia's just going to sit in the back and wrath her ass off forever.
I did not purchase a new chair, I inherited a new chair. Because a friend of mine purchased a new chair.
You inherited a new paperweight.
Yeah, that's why there's 4 PSPs in the room, not 3. Okay,
well, I'm ready.
Like I said, it's 6969 is the code. I posted it in the zone. Broken chairs are proof you're alive.
Oh, no. Oh, no, you're fine. You're using Minphilia for a different reason.
Yeah. And also it has a holy and non-elemental, so it doesn't matter.
They did
Also, it
improve the stuff on the multiplayer for a little bit. For instance, you can now make custom comments about what exactly you want out of the party. So you can like specifically say heals and buffs or whatever.
right, but you can also just do this. And my favorite one. I don't get to use my favorite one very often, but it's still my favorite one. Alright, I'm gonna wait another minute, and if nobody else joins, we're gonna go ahead. Man.
I like how this minute is basically alright, but a minute of me sifting through menus, that's no bueno.
I can't, so, the other thing, like, you were using Irvine in the FF8 fights, and one of the things that makes Irvine really good is that you mentioned his weapon is a pentabreak.
Yes.
Pentabreak is a different status than full break, so they stack. Irvine has support 5.
Yep, so he can just stack full break right on top of his pentabreak.
He can put them in the damn toilet. he has because he has support 5 and like. Honestly, I don't think anything else is really big. I think he has like sharpshooter and machinist maybe, but.
I think you should probably open it up to the public.
Alright. I almost hit the wrong button.
No one in the zoo plays this game, they just watch and get confused.
Look, there was the one time that somebody said they were going to join, and then we didn't do it, and then every time since. Anyway. It's fine. Hi, Kate Sith.
Hi, heals.
I see a wall. I feel pretty good about that. Oh, wall and a burst. Ooh, that's good. Oh, that's bad.
Not anymore, it's not.
Rip. Oh, that's good. Ah, that's bad.
Clap on. Clap off.
Stop it.
This is the kind of pitfall that you may or may not experience in multiplayer running with puppies. They just up and go, and there's really nothing you can do about that. Hopefully that guy has a burst.
They both do.
Acceptable.
I don't think they're using their commands at all. Anyway.
Shall we?
Yep. Hold on, what is that? Okay, that Celis is gonna be in for a rude day realizing immune to element or whatever. With those spell blades, that's not.
But it's a runic, because it's it tastes my mega flare.
In FF14, the joke in FFC is that the first boss of any 24-player raid is getting all players to hit yes. Alright, 3. Come on, Lemon Bar. I love the thumbs up. So the thing that sucks here is
Jesus, they brought this team against me.
Bahama,
I guess I'll come out eventually.
Bahama, where you at? Okay, there we go.
You certainly are.
Blessing of Light. Protect. That we
You do realize that's what I'm doing, right?
No. I thought you were gonna do the burst thing.
I don't have her burst, dude.
Oh, rip in fucking pieces.
I thought you had reverse.
I do. I just don't ever use it. Because why would I do anything but use hers? Ah, damn it. Well,
It's fine. It's not like we're short on damage or anything.
I can't wait till Ramsey uses Shout, which will be very helpful on top of the things he just did.
If that player does that, then I'm gonna have to give them, like, points. Flagrant disrespect.
Look, the trick is that I use Minfilia as a 100% support character who does not deal real damage. I have used her burst a whole total of like 4 times ever. Because the guts on the last stand is way too good.
The guts, the glory. Yeah, funny story about that. Now we have to climb the aggro crag.
Oh, son of a... Oh, good God, alright. This is what we get for not having a wall with us.
This is moderately tame for not having a wall, oddly enough.
You know, for an ultimate Thundaga, doing 388 damage to a single target, a little underpowered.
Yeah, hopefully that that Eris is going to get her burst off pretty soon.
All right. I'll be honest, I'm always confused when people don't just bring Mog's Might to multiplayer.
Yeah, same. Maybe they've got like some weird build going on.
Also, okay, I see Hero King going. That's good. Like, I'm always...
I've never seen delete a burst soul break.
It actually has a similar... It has a very similar look to Unsung Hero, with the same...
So it does, damn.
Yeah. The same hill.
Realize that.
It's the same hill, but reversed. Rams is looking at it from the other side during like the it's a nice touch.
That is a really cool touch.
Look, I'm just gonna keep using Wayfinder's Hymn. Oh man, am I gonna actually get to use my burst? That I
think so.
Didn't use.
I mean, assuming, like, since we don't have a wall, assuming Mega Flare does X billion damage as punishment, we got this made.
Oh boy. Well, we should probably try winning here rather than, like, letting Mega Flare happen. I gotta find that. Where are you? There we are.
So I've decided that I'm just going to use the Dark Team against the Disciplinary Committee. I can't really think of anything that's going to work. Unless, yeah. Can't think of a good RW for this.
Yeah, so here's Unsung Hero.
Yeah.
So we get to see
What a nice little touch.
Yeah, it's reversed in the sense that it's like a daytime sort of look rather than like the nighttime look.
We hopefully will be able to do this before... Yeah, there we go.
Yep, we're all near death or whatever.
Wow, that did shit all. That didn't even trigger guts. Whatever.
Alright, do I get to... Come on. Do I get to actually take a command? No. Here we go. Echo. Then I can just put the phone down, because it's going to end on Echo. Actually, it might end before that on Ardent Blade, but we'll see. Yep. Cool. All right, so yeah, I do have this burst. All right.
I've seen you lose.
Oh, an orb. It was just a greater orb, though. I'm always happy with orb. Come on, something good for running. Come on, good stuff, good stuff. Ah, Scarlet Tide FF4, damn. When you run a 60 stamina multiplayer, you have like 4 different things you can get from it. And 3 of them are like really good, and then there's Scarlet Tide X4, which is literally that's nothing.
Ah, I see. That was the reason why they locked Bahamut up down in the laboratory. Because he was Jehovah's witnessing it up in there.
Alright.
Alright. So, it's time for y'all to get mad at me again.
Are we back to Sid Reigns or some shit?
I will give it about a couple of tries, and if it's not the case, then I will just Sid Reigns it.
You know you need...
I guess.
You know you need poison damage to get the mastery, right?
I'll flip a Bioga on them. I'll flip a table. You're not my dad. Oh, there it is.
Alright.
Alright, let's see how this rolls. I mean, obviously Fujin is going to be the one that does it, so I'm just going to have her stitch in time and then blah 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 blah.
Yes.
God, massive apologies to the entire zoo for having that go on for as long as it did.
We flipped over to the other thing. It's fine.
I'm a big poopy baby that can't stand not getting what he wants.
Alright, time to get crushed. Which one has the fattest Bahamut? My favorite Bahamut is in
Which one has the fattest ride?
My favorite Bahamut is in a game I haven't streamed yet.
Oh right, he always starts with Bloodfest, so that's gonna hurt.
Oh yeah, they also do like a couple buffs, I think, too, to start off the fight. I understand literally nothing about this game. It's fine. Wasn't Bomb at the Moon in 14?
Kind of, I guess. I don't know. Yes, please waste your turns, you dumb assholes.
Ah, high potion. Oh, haste. Oh, shit. That's not a waste.
You're not cooking. Alright, so let's see if we can flip on, let's do it. They cut it because it was too much of a good idea. Well, that sounds a lot like Kingdom Hearts to me.
Alright, here we go. Yes, I think it's the same buff. Chris's command 2.
Is it set up anyway? Yes.
The difference is that Quistis' command 2 is multi-target, which means it's doing basically 6 hits rather than 4, so it is still worth using.
Everyone gets the fuck out of the way.
I love everybody backing up for that. That's really good.
I used to think that the only person that did that was, like, Orlando, and that made his BSB extra good.
Anyway, you are absolutely crushing with Quistis' BSB. That is dealing incredible damage.
Dang Skippy. I think it's perfectly fine that Cypher's in the back. I kind of forgot to put him in the front, but since he is so spec'd for aggro, it actually works in his favor. Dumbass.
Rip. That would stack more, yeah. Yeah, of course.
Moving right along here.
Of course, if you're hitting for quad 9s, then it doesn't really matter. Man, you just have, like, infinite death by committees in the pocket.
Yeah, the other thing, too, is that Bloodfest never misses. Just to know. I cast Fist. Stuffed like a fucking turkey.
Cast Fist. Alright. One down.
I think what I'll do now for Raijin is to throw up Meteor Crush again.
Fucking... He just leaves. Cypher just fucks off.
Later.
I'm out.
So next up is Legion. That. Oh, the other thing that I have to mention too, you do not lose charges when you go out of burst mode.
That's important.
They are a 20-second buff affair.
Though, I guess you lose it if you...
That would have really sucked otherwise.
Yeah. How high are you trying to go?
What the fuck? Man. Dude. $50 billion death by committees later.
Yeah, Omnicrom. I want to say there are only 3 spells in all of Final Fantasy VIII that you cast.
Yeah, and most of them are accessible in the form of stones, so you can just refine your extras into stones and cast those without actually having to give up any of your shit.
Right. Because, like, I never actually want to spend any
Bear in mind, too, that Raiden's Burst Soul Break, of course, has a non-elemental chaser, so this is perfectly acceptable.
Right, yeah, you have the commands, too, so, like, why use Life when you have Revive command? Alright, let's see how Raiden explodes here. I'm waiting.
I think I'll go ahead and do it now.
Alright, let's see what we get.
Should be alright. I'm really glad that they just like went over the top and just made it ludicrously powerful just so that you have the benefit of not having to charge to full every single time.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm just going to do this for the next few seconds, so don't mind me. Zan and her Burst Soul Break are both instantaneous, by the way.
Oh, good God.
I think I should take it. That was nowhere near as hairy as I was expected to believe.
That's an ultimate plus fight, too. I think Biggs and Wedge gave you more of a problem.
I love that the solution to Biggs and Wedge was to not care about their stupid gimmick. I feel so good when I just get to not give a hot fuck.
What if I ignore your dumb gimmick?
What if I just take damage and then you die?
So,
Ooh-wee. That is the FF8 event, y'all.
yeah.
Good stuff. You want to go over the Burst Soul Breaks, like, real quick?
Yeah, let's...
Because there are a lot of... Yeah, there's some interesting things in here. So, as I said before, if you want to pull on a banner right now, definitely pull on banner 1, because it only has 2 repeats, and everything else is completely new stuff.
Not only that,
So,
but, like... Okay, I'm not a big fan of Cypher stuff, I'll be completely honest. Even, like, with what you can do with it, I just don't... I'm not a big fan of Cypher in any way.
That's because you don't like Thorns in Diablo, because
Right.
it's a stupid gimmick.
It's a lame gimmick, but looking at Almassi, looking at the sheer trigger, like, Cypher has this weird thing where he, like, tries to tank, his, like, defenses so he takes more damage to reflect damage.
Yeah, so the thing is, like, he tanks his defense on purpose, but draws all aggro to him. But at the same time, he is building, like, a Thorns barrier that reflects damage, and it can stack up to 300% reflected damage.
Yeah.
And at the same time, he also has a Drain Blade in order to keep himself topped off while he's busy doing
Right.
that. So he is a Thorns Knight.
One other thing to note is that it says on his command 1, lowers user's defense a large amount, 50%, and resistance moderate, 30%. But if you look at the entry on his BSB, it raises defense by I think it just says a very large amount, which is 100%. So his defense actually doesn't tank. His defense is actually still higher even after the command 1. His resistance, though, that's definitely in the tank.
Yeah, and also the fact that, like, since Thorns hasn't really played out very well, especially for the kind of strategies I employ, because my strategy is just, like, to take as little damage as possible, so when walls and everything is up, then Thorns
has been...
doesn't really work.
Thorns, like, okay, so Elfanaut is one of my main characters, and I have Deployment Tactics, which gives the Thorns Radiant Shield to your entire party. In any fight that's just a normal fight, that ability's useless. But in the multiplayer fights, I found that Radiant Shield does a lot more. Because a lot of the bosses throw around, like, defense-piercing moves that do about 1,500 damage to the party. And if you have Radiant Shield on 8 characters on a 1,500 attack, the boss just tank themselves for 5 digits. And they do it every, like... So bosses like Rubicante, or bosses like... that have a lot of AoE, are very... Rubicante is the one I remember that we did. Like, we won because of the Radiant Shield. Because in multiplayer, 8 people is higher than 5, and so you're reflecting more damage.
So anyway, Fujin's burst is Metsu. Should have been Rage, but whatever. 5 instant magic, wind, and non-elemental AoE attacks temporarily lowers everyone's magic and resistance.
That's incredible.
4 magic, wind, and non-elemental attacks to 1 target with reduced delay. So that's, like, it's a ninja delay, so, and Hakai, which is, lowers its resistance, which stacks with her entry. So it's pretty dang good.
You know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
It reminds me of Arc Blast.
It does. It absolutely does. It's like, except Arc Blast kind of, like, kept bringing on the pressure in more ways. Hakai sort of does that itself, too, and that's like, it's incredible for magic-heavy bosses.
Yeah, so Arc Blast is Vaughn, right?
Yes, it's Vaughn. Defense and magic, a large amount, get lowered. And his attacks also lower magic and defense, respectively, so it just all stacks on top. And also, since his burst is not a full break, it stacks with Barris's Versal Break and full break and all
so
that
like, like this does. This will stack with, like, say you have this BSB along with, like, what we're with the setup we had for Irving. You can set up, okay, so you have full break, penta break, magic resistance break, and your opponent's just like, I don't have stats. TK Cat asks, is this damage reflected or Thorns for percentage? It is. If you take 2,000 damage, your opponent takes 2,000 damage. You do not reflect it, you just, like, double it back at, or hit it back at them. Like,
yes.
You take 2,000 and they take 2,000.
So, we've already covered Raijin's staff quite a bit. It's a hammer, despite being a staff, but whatever. The other thing, too, is that, Raijin's, like, all of Raijin and Fujin's stuff has wind boosting effects. Wind and lightning boosting effects, respectively. Like, Raijin's staff and Raijin's arm guard, they all have boosts to lightning damage, and all of Fujin's shit has boosts to wind damage. So basically, anything that you pull off of this banner that belongs to either one of them, you're guaranteed a boost in elemental damage, and so their gear is very excellent for that.
Yeah.
So Cypher's gloves, we've seen that before. Like, this is way better than his burst, in my opinion, because you can slot him into so many different things because he's such a workhorse with this in this setup here.
Yeah. So the big trick here is, again, what we talked about, how attack boosts work. Because it's raising attack and magic, it stacks with attack boost. So you can use Shout plus Death by Committee, and your entire party has this incredible damage buff. So,
Fujin's jacket is the super soul break that I was using. 8 instant magic, wind, and non-elemental attacks that give her in wind.
Yep.
So that's really fucking good.
Again, instant
Raijin's Pauldron, something we touched on briefly. Remove delay from the actions of all allies from 1 turn and give them guts in measure region.
That I really wish I would have pulled this, because holy crap, that's good. The big thing is, I can't, like, again, I've been using Minfilia, who has Last Stand plus 50% attack for the party. I cannot tell you how many fights Last Stand Guts has just flat won. Because, like,
Guts is absolutely amazing in a game where you must buff yourself out the ass or die.
Right, because normally, like, so if you have a re-raise effect, you come back up, but you don't have Shell Protect on, you don't have any of that, and you're just gonna die again. But with Last Stand, even if you take a hit that would kill you, you just go to 1, and then, like, somebody can heal you back up, and I can reapply it. Especially with the other thing that can't be understated is how powerful remove delay from 1 action is. Because say you use Raijin's Pauldron, and then you're like, oh, well, you know what time it's for now, everybody used their burst soul breaks instantly.
Yep. And that's something that can be comboed into Raijin too. If you bother like life siphoning him up a bunch to get like 2 charges, then you can aura into his burst. That's pretty cool.
Like, I was literally just thinking about how cool it would be to do SIDS on a non-cast.
This is going to be very weird, because uniques are getting phased out, because supers are just so common now, and we're also getting Ultra Soul Breaks, which are basically the next step up.
I'm very sad about that, because there are still a number of unique soul breaks that are very powerful.
Yeah, Sentinel's Grimoire and Stone Skin 2 are definitely
even
the only 2 walls of the game are uniques.
Even in the Blade, the Runic.
Yeah, Runic is a unique, which is incredible.
Though I think her BSB2 has Runic attached to it as well, coming up.
Okay, so that's going to be less of a problem.
But Grand Cross,
I don't know, like, is Grand Cross a unique?
That's a unique.
Ooh.
I really want that to return on either the next FF5 banner or on the anniversary banners, but I know it's a low chance because I'm like X-Death isn't like a super loved character.
We love him.
I mean, I do, but like FF5 isn't like this. It's FF.
OSB Doom Train. Straight up Doom Train. Doom Train with a bunch of, like, yeah, it's Doom Train. It's Doom Train minus the Vitality Zero, because Vitality Zero got cancelled because it was too broken. The one thing in this game that was broken as hell that they actually took out was Vite Zero. Hey, Burst Soul Break, Idia's Valkyrie. 8 magic Ice and Darks, gives her an In-Ice, and it's just basically, you know, a workhorse of Dark and Ice at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's pretty good. You notice it's got a Maria thing going on, where it's like the amount of attacks depends on the user's magic for her first command.
It's actually, like, looking at the commands here, this is literally Maria's to almost a fault. Like, but 2 differences. One, the thresholds are much higher because they realized that Maria's thresholds were, like, super easy to get. And 2, Maria's command 1 is actually, like, I think Maria's command 1 is Earth and Non-Elemental. Maria, okay, let me double check that. And this one is Ice and Dark, which is actually pretty much Non-Elemental. Like, Dark, it's so rare to have both those elements resisted.
Why is Mighty Guard a super? Can you answer me that?
No idea.
Okay. Just to give you an idea of how broken as hell USBs are gonna get, so you like Shout?
I love.
What if you had 30% attack magic, Hasteга, Shellga, Protectga?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like that a lot, because then I would be able to take 5, like, different things off of my team and not have to worry about them.
Well, that can be yours, my friend, because that's where USBs can generally hover around. This gets so fucking dumb really quick. Banner 2 I don't like as much because it's a lot more repeats. It depends on how much gear you have from the previous thing. But
right.
Oh boy, Banner 1 definitely pull on that one.
But I can say that Banner 2 it does have so the selfie healing you were looking at has it has a blink on it, which is a really powerful thing to have on your Medica.
Magic Blink at that.
Yeah, Magic Blink, which is I think the more important one.
Alright, so I think that's about it for the Final Fantasy VIII event. I just wanted to cover a lot of shit, and frankly, yeah. Generally because I was feeling kind of bad about skipping a bunch of shit last time because of, internet concerns, but I only dropped 54 frames at, like, the beginning, so thumbs up.
Hell yeah.
Alright. So, we're going to be taking off now, so thank you again for stopping by. Thanks, Slyo, for staying with me as long as you did.
Oh, of course.
Especially, yeah, it got pretty late this time, but I think we managed just fine.
Yeah.
Alright then. Well, we will see you next time with, I believe, FF12.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, and I also believe that the Nightmare Dungeons are going to be coming up at the final Nightmare Dungeon. So we finally get to see what's going to come in, what's going to go down
Well,
after we finish all of them.
we might. It might be like we get the final Nightmare Dungeon and then there's one more cycle. I don't know. We'll see. I have a lot of bosses to kick around once that opens.
Dang Skippy.
Alright.
Alright. Well, see you guys next time.
Good night, everybody.